Hi guys, so wanted to update. I just got my 2-week weight and pregnancy test video uploaded to YouTube. I really wanted to do that because I thought it was so amazing. Benny wants to video too. I thought it was so amazing that I caught it all on video and everything just worked out perfect. The whole time, because it wasn't that much time, felt amazing and perfect. I was really tired, definitely having symptoms, kind of achy and stuff, but I wasn't feeling as nauseated and sick as I was last time. I was a lot more active. This time around I've been eating a lot better, so I've been a lot more active. So I just thought everything was perfect. The fact that I caught it on video, this time it was planned and it was a very much wanted baby. Last time it was wanted, but it was a surprise. It was an oops baby and we were kind of shocked and scared. This time it was 100% prayed for and planned, and I prayed every day that month, thanking God for the baby inside me. Even before I knew I was pregnant, and even before there was a chance I was pregnant, I prayed that every day. And so it was perfect. And I remember, I tested all week. I got that digital on Friday, the digital result. And the weekend was perfect. We had a perfect Saturday together. We went to the farmer's market. We got lemonade because that sounded so good to me, and some really fresh homemade goodies from farmer's market. We grilled out that afternoon. We just had a good day at home. We went on a long walk. It was a beautiful day. It was a great weekend, a perfect weekend. Sunday was a beautiful day, and I felt good, and I was so excited to get to church to praise God and thank Him for His miracles. And I remember sitting in church Sunday thinking, gosh, this is perfect. We've been through so much pain and heartache, and today is perfect, and we are so blessed and lucky. And the message that was being talked about was Satan and Jesus and the destructor and the restorer. And I don't know if you've ever had those times, for those of you who are Christians or go to church, where sometimes you hear messages and you're like, oh, that's for me, I needed that. And sometimes you hear messages and you're like, oh, my husband needed that, or so-and-so, I hope they're listening because they needed that. And other times you're like, I really don't relate to this at all, but it's good to know. It's good education. And that's how I felt. I felt so kind of, looking back, arrogant, like, life is so wonderful and so good. I feel so good. I'm so happy and in love with our marriage. We have a little baby on the way. Life is perfect. And I felt like, destruction, like God has restored us and rebuilt our house is kind of what they were talking about, rebuilding a house. And I said, we are rebuilt and there's no destruction in our lives. And I kind of believe, when you're arrogant like that, it is okay to feel that way, and it's great, but sometimes that's when you're most susceptible to Satan, and that's when he wants you the most. So anyways, this video got more spiritual than I was expecting, because this was just supposed to be a quick update. I came home, I was so tired, but before we switched out of our church clothes, I made Kyle do some pictures outside, because last time we had got a bump book with little card updates, and I was already 8 weeks when we got the cards, and so I missed the I'm pregnant card and the 4 weeks card. And so this time we decided to cherish every moment of this pregnancy from the beginning and just savor every step of the way. So we went outside while I was still in my church clothes, and Kyle took my pictures in front of this beautiful wild rose bush with our pregnancy test and the card that said I'm pregnant. And that was just an awesome feeling to be able to do that this time. We didn't share it with anybody yet, only on my private Trying to Conceive Instagram account with my fellow sisters on the journey. And we came in and had lunch, and I laid down to take a nap. Actually, no, we went for a walk, and I felt kind of weird. I've been walking like crazy lately. I'm a personal trainer, but I've been also trying to hit 10,000 steps a day. So I've been walking like crazy, and when I found out I was pregnant, it gave me even more incentive to keep it up and do more, because I wanted an absolutely healthy, perfect pregnancy. Cut it short, because Kyle doesn't like to walk as long as I do, and also I just felt weird. Not sick or crampy or anything. I just felt weird. I didn't feel too good. I don't know why. And I thought, well, I'm just tired. And so I went and laid down, tried to take a nap. Kyle was in our sunroom, or he was right here actually reading, and I was in our bedroom, and I took a nap. And I got up and I had to go to the bathroom. And this is TMI for those watching who aren't on the journey, but I'm sorry. And I noticed some pink spot, just a little bit of pink, and instantly was freaked out, of course, because I've researched so much and I feel like I'm so educated on pregnancy and birth. I knew that that was normal, especially in the first trimester, especially right off the bat. It could still be implantation or different like that, but it's spotting. So I was like, okay, I'm okay. I'm not going to tell Kyle. And I laid back down in bed. Of course, now I'm paranoid though. I'm going to check more. So I went to the bathroom again a little bit, checked, and it looked like there was nothing. So I was like, okay, you know, it's okay, and just kept praying. I had Bible study that night. I just laid in bed. I finally told Kyle. So I laid back down, and I finally told Kyle, and he said I was not overreacting, but he said it's fine, everything's okay. And I told him, you know, of course I'd already Googled it 50 times, even though I knew it before. And I knew what the stuff said, the statistics. And then, of course, he Googled it and said that it was common. But I also knew that 50% of women who experience spotting in the first trimester, 50% lead to miscarriage. So, you know, I am not a pessimist, but I just like to call myself someone who's a realist and prepared for worst case scenario. That way, when it's turns out not the worst case scenario, we can rejoice and be happy about it. But anyway, we got ready, we went to Bible study, which I kind of didn't want to go. I was not feeling it, but whatever. I felt weird. And before we went to Bible study, I noticed a little bit more spotting, still pink, to Bible study. And I was quiet the whole time. I'm usually in the kitchen with the ladies talking, and this time I was during Bible study. You know, we ate and everything. I got up to go to the bathroom. I couldn't think about anything else. I was so paranoid, and I noticed more spotting, so it lasted a couple hours. And this time there was like a little clump of something in the toilet. So at that point I'm freaked out, and Kyle is sitting next to me on the couch and can tell I'm freaked out, but we're trying to focus on the study. But all I can think about is we need to go home. I don't want to be here. I need to get out of here. So that was the hardest time of my life, like hardest 30 minutes, maybe not even 30 minutes. So we're sitting there and Kyle's trying to tell me to calm down, I'll make it worse. But I couldn't, because all I could think is, what if I start bleeding on this couch? Like irrational things, but still like valid. I was terrified. And finally, we did prayer requests, and we had already decided this time around we were going to tell our Bible study group from the beginning so they could be praying for us, because we wanted all the prayers this time that we could get. But I had decided when we left, like since we were spotting, I didn't want to. But then right at the end of prayer request, I finally said, we're pregnant, but we're already having some complications, so pray for us. So it was weird because people's faces were like excited, and then you could see, because they could tell in my face, I'm fighting back tears. You know, it was weird. It was really awkward, but I'm glad I did it, because it's better to not be alone, in my opinion. So we go home, and the whole drive, I'm thinking drive fast, and I told him, I was like, I told him what happened. I was like, that was the longest time of my life. I just need to get home. I want to go home. When we got home, starting to get red, and I know that, pink or brown, it's okay. Red's not good. And the spotting I felt like was picking up. And I was like, just devastated. And then, talking to my friends, texting, and they're all saying, it's okay, I called the doctor on call earlier that afternoon. I forgot about that. And she said, it could be normal, just calm down. It's okay that you called, because that's understandable, but it's fairly common. We'll try to get you in tomorrow. So anyways, after that, the red picked up, and, talked to my friends. They're all telling me to calm. It'll be okay. Just wait to the doctor. It's fine. It's common. But I just knew. You just know. I am very in tune with my body, and I just know. Like, I just knew I was pregnant, but I just knew something was wrong. And it got red, and then I started cramping, and it was getting heavier. Not full on, period yet, though. So I tried to go to sleep, and I kept waking up, and at one point in the middle of the night, I was cramping so bad, I was nauseous and dizzy. And I have really bad period cramps, terrible. I've missed school, I've missed work, this was terrible. It made me nauseous and dizzy. Like, you get like a roll of like nausea and like clammy, and it was bad. And it was pretty much like a period blood at that point. I was preparing myself. I just knew I was going to miscarry. And so that night was awful. The cramping was terrible. I was bleeding. I was miscarrying. I knew I was miscarrying at that point. Next morning we called. As soon as it opened, Kyle called into work. We went to the doctor. Yet again, I was hoping the next time I would be at that place would be for excitement and joy, and same old, sitting in that waiting room, seeing pregnant people. And this is terrible, but I feel like everyone who's been through what I've been through can relate. And I'm just going to say it because you've probably thought it. It's terrible, but I see some people, I'm like, you don't deserve to be pregnant. I see people and I'm like, you look like you're 15. You look like you're super unhealthy. And that's terrible. But that's what I'm thinking. Like, why me? We're healthy. We're responsible. We take care of ourselves. Like, and I know I'm not very emotional right now, but I think it's because I'm more emotional and private by myself. It's been difficult. So we go to the doctor. They do the pregnancy test, and by then the test is already negative. So, and I knew from the beginning chemical pregnancy was in my mind, which for those of you who don't know, before I was educated on it, I thought a chemical pregnancy was like a false positive, like your body's chemicals were haywire, but that's just the medical scientific term for an early miscarriage. It is a miscarriage. They just call it chemical pregnancy, and for some reason that makes it sound not as bad, but it's just as bad. You're still losing a baby. You still know that there was a fertilized egg. It just didn't stick, or something was genetically wrong to make your body purge it, but it's still a miscarriage, and that's pretty much what she confirmed. She said that I showed her all the tests I'd taken, and they were positive, and so that test had already been negative. She said it's common. I said, what's wrong? Is there something wrong with me given my history of already having 1 and 2 in a row? I would have never imagined. And she said no. It just which I hate when they say these things just happen, because that's not an answer, but it's true. And that was it. We gave blood, went home, got a call the next day. My HCG, which is your pregnancy hormones, were already at a 3. A 5, anything below a 5 is negative. So they dropped off fairly quickly, and it was just like that, it's done. And that is that. We were expecting to have our rainbow baby for Christmas, which we thought was super special and magical and wonderful and a miracle, but we're going through our second loss in 5 months, which has been the most difficult. I don't want to say the most difficult thing in my life, because I've had a lot of hard things in my life, but it's crazy. I feel like, how much can I handle? And ever since junior high that I could remember, this was my biggest fear. And people are like, what are your biggest fears? Mine was not being able to have children, not getting married, not being able to be a mom. And I swear, like, even in high school, when I'd hear stories of people struggling with fertility or multiple losses or can't get pregnant, I used to think, that's terrible. Please don't let that happen to me. When my friends, like, they never considered that. That's not even anything on the radar. And I always felt more for the women who had gone through that. And now I wonder if it was just because subconsciously maybe I knew from the beginning that this would always be a struggle. I even had an exploratory surgery my sophomore year of college because of my bad periods, and I remember saying when I woke up, can I have babies? Like, it wasn't even because of that. It was just seeing like maybe I had endometriosis, and I didn't. Everything was clear, but that was the first thought coming out of anesthesia was, can I have babies? And they're like, yeah, you're fine, you're healthy. And it's just crazy that I'm living this now in 2 in a row. So I don't know. This will be continued, but I wanted to do an update video because that last video was so precious and sweet. But I felt like if I don't do an update video in family or someone, people get on there, they're going to think I'm pregnant. And unfortunately, I am not again. So this will be continued. I hope these videos help others going through the same thing. You are not alone, and you can get through it. I'm living in it. I'm in the trenches, but I know I'll get through it.